Hey Bashar, this is Michael from Tel Aviv, Israel, and I'm excited to be asking you a question. So, my understanding is that when we want to manifest things that we prefer, it's not about forcing anything or making anything happen. It's about allowing the manifestations to come as they need to when we are in the state we prefer. My question is, does that idea work for inner states of being as well? In other words, am I supposed to bring awareness to whatever's going on in my mind and allow the energy from my higher mind to flow through? Or should I be reaching for that higher energy, the higher mind, in a more conscious way? Thank you and good day.
Yes, the idea of reaching is, in a more conscious way, following the formula. That's why we give it to you. So that by following the formula, you allow the automatic to happen. And that is the increase in your frequency, which makes it easier for you to recognize the flow of communication from the higher mind.
Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
My deepest appreciation for you and Daryl and April and Emmy and Desiree and everybody there for this opportunity. I appreciate having this chance to talk to you in this way. So thank you so much.
And our deep appreciation to you as well.
And I also want to say happy belated birthday. You and I have birthdays one day apart. So wishing you a happy belated birthday.
Thank you very much. And to you as well.
Thank you, Bashar. So my first question is, I'm having a lot of significance with birds. So right before this interaction, we saw a big bald eagle sitting in a tree outside the window.
How exciting.
It is exciting. And hawks tend to be a synchronicity sign. I've had some experience with some owls lately.
Oh, all right.
And then my favorite has been crows. So I've been really connected to this crow family that's nearby, and I interact with them on a regular basis. We go on walks, and they kind of come around and they hang out on the ground with us.
Yes.
And now I'm starting to notice that where I go in other places, there's crows that are not related that tend to do the same thing sometimes. So I wanted to see if there's any insight that you have to that.
Well, first, of course, and foremost, do remember that in synchronous symbolism, with a program that you have on Earth, you are, when you interact with those beings, actually walking with dinosaurs. You know this, yes?
I want to hear more.
Do you understand that birds are an evolutionary offshoot of one branch of the dinosaurs? That's why many scientists, now that they understand that some dinosaurs evolved into birds, actually refer to birds now more scientifically as avian dinosaurs. So you are walking with dinosaurs, which means you are connected to the idea of ancient experience, speaking linearly for a moment. You are picking up ancient experiences, grounding yourself in the very early eras of Earth and bringing them into the present, where the dinosaurs have learned to soar and fly and carry those ancient vibrations into the sky. So they form, in a sense, a link and a bridge between the earth and the sky, and those that can allow themselves to align with them in certain ways are also vibrationally carried aloft and yet remain connected to the ancient past, the ancient wisdoms, the ancient experiences in a timeless way.
I love that. So I guess my next question is there anything, obviously acting on my excitement, I understand that is the formula. Is there anything as far as communication with them that you can encourage or would give me any tips to make our interaction even more enriching?
Well, what has your imagination provided for you?
I haven't really tried to communicate with them. I just haven't felt the impulse yet, but I think that would be exciting at some point to start to communicate with them.
Then I would ask the first question is, if that is something you would find exciting, what is preventing you from using your imagination to figure out ways in which you would enjoy doing so.
Yeah, that's, I haven't thought of that, but I think it's just doing it. It's just silly just to, just do it.
You're kind of putting an imaginary block there that doesn't need to exist.
Sure. And thanks for helping me become aware of that.
All right. Well, allow yourself to fly then, and expand your imagination and come up with all sorts of ways in which you could begin to communicate more clearly with them. One suggestion we might have that might help you, might assist you in this journey, is to look at the different birds that you said you were attracted to and recognize for yourself what each species actually symbolizes, represents to you energetically or symbolically. That can give you some insight as to how to relate to each of those different kinds of birds.
Okay.
All right?
I love that. Thank you.
All right.
My next thing I want to ask about is I recently went to Sedona for the first time and had a pretty magical, mystical experience there.
All right. How exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you. And so there was a sunrise hike that I did to Bell Rock, and my girlfriend and I were there for a few days, and we did see a craft every night. And I did see the craft before my hike on Bell Rock. And I'm curious, because it was close to Bell Rock, if you could help me identify who that was.
Nope. Not yet.
Okay.
You're in process. Things will unfold. You'll get the information that you need, but not quite yet.
Okay. And then my next experience was we were doing a hot springs adventure at Mystic Hot Springs in Utah. And I did happen to see 3 grays, that 2 of them, so they were standing up on the hillside. It was interesting because 2 of them kept merging into one. Yeah. And it was a quick experience. And then later that evening, we went to sleep early, and it felt like I was dreaming all night long. And I know you've explained that it happens right as you're waking up, that it's being translated into our consciousness, but It felt like it was a long experience. And
yes. Well, the real experience did happen over a span of time. I'm just simply saying that what you wake up with as you remember as a dream is simply symbols that are created just before you wake up.
Okay. And so in that dream, there was the experience that we were on a craft with these 3 grays, the 2 of them kept merging into one.
Oh, stop there for one moment.
Okay.
What you're describing is not literally physically happening to them that way. What you're experiencing is what might be called interdimensional lensing, where it's an expression of how they're interjecting themselves into your reality that makes it appear as if they're merging into one another. Not that that's actually physically happening. It's more of an optical illusion.
Okay. And so then we woke up, and then it was just, she actually had some physical illness after it.
Yes.
She didn't have the experience of the dream. She just felt the shift, and she felt the energy of it, but she didn't have any memory of it.
That's all right. That doesn't mean there wasn't some experience just because she doesn't remember.
Right. So in the morning when we went to leave our cabin, there was an interesting footprint on the door. It only had, from what I recall, it only had 4 toes, and the foot was it wasn't bigger than our human feet, but it was oblong, if that makes sense, just the shape of it.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if you have any insight as to who that was, or if you have anything.
It was a gray.
Okay.
I don't think that's very mysterious.
I just wanted to see if you had anything else that you wanted to share about that experience.
Yes, it's a symbol that you have 1 foot in each reality.
It feels like that. And to kind of talk about that a little bit. So I know we're shifting billions of times per second, and it's the awareness that we're shifting. And so I'm feeling it vibrationally, I'm feeling it energetically. I'm seeing some signs, I'm seeing things physically that are also giving me that awareness. Do you have any tips as to what we can look for to be able to differentiate or have a distinguishment about the shifting, to notice that we really are shifting?
Again, if you need to notice, you will, but the formula we give you doesn't leave out the capacity to recognize those shifts in a different way more clearly. Remember that it leaves nothing relevant out. That's why we give you that instruction manual. And if you simply follow your passion and the rest of the implementation of the formula, you will raise your frequency. And as you raise your frequency, you'll make yourself a more receptive antenna for higher frequency information and awareness. So it's all included. Just keep going. Act on your passion as often as you can. Do it with no insistence on the outcome. Remain in a positive state. Explore yourself. Find the beliefs that work for you. Find the beliefs that don't and let them go. All of this will work together to give you more clarity and more perception of the shifts in the way that you need to.
Okay. Thank you, Bashar. That's all I have. I appreciate your time. Good day.
All right. Our deep appreciation and unconditional love to you as well. Good day.
Good day.
Bashar, 11/11/2020, Russia announced that we are not alone. And the geopolitical and space expert Alexander Semenov spoke about the importance of establishing a peaceful collaboration in space. Could you give us your 5 cents on the issue? And happy belated birthday.
Obviously, we are a proponent of peaceful collaboration in space. Different cultures and different countries and nations on your planet will have their own recognition and realization at different timings of when it is appropriate for them to begin to admit and to recognize our existence and the existence of other extraterrestrial and extra-dimensional beings that have, to some degree, already been in contact with your planet, or those yet to contact your planet in a more open way. It's all part and parcel of the timing of the recognition and the opening of that recognition in different places on your planet that will eventually come together in a holistic sense so that the entire planet at one point will allow themselves to recognize the existence of extraterrestrial beings and in their own good timing be open to the idea of forming these collaborative interactions. Again, this will accelerate in the window of open contact that we have now said has shifted from 2023 to the idea of about 2033.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
How's your day going?
Perfect, and you?
Perfect as well. I'm having a really nice synchronicity because it's almost year minus a day since I had a podcast with you, and then it just synchronistically happened that I was going to be able to ask you questions. So,
all right, congratulations on your synchronicity.
Thank you. So I have a lot of questions about vibration, so hopefully we can get to most of them.
We will get to the ones that are important to get to, so you don't have to be hoping.
Okay, sounds good. So there was a woman I just recently watched Children of the Future, that transmission, and she mentioned a parallel life where she was a sort of doctor in a future reality. And she was talking about they were using vibration to, I guess, heal organs in the body.
Yes, this is a logical extension of where many will be heading in terms of experiencing everything as resonance, everything as frequency, and it will and is extending a little bit more and will continue to do so into your medical technology as well.
Right. And so my question was, I know we've also talked about you gave us an exercise where you could impose a vibration onto a ball and then we would find that it would go into a different location when it
Yes.
was. Yeah. So my question is, is there a difference, I guess, between imposing a vibration and getting a location and imposing a vibration and healing an organ? Or is there a difference, or how would that work? Like, for instance, if we impose a vibration on a liver, why wouldn't it move to a different location like the ball would?
Because you are not necessarily imposing a difference in the locational variable. You are taking a reading that gives you a different kind of output.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering. And then with using...
Although, in a sense, it's the same thing because, again, you are shifting to a slightly different reality where there is a healthy liver. So in a sense, that is a change of location too, just not in the classical sense of moving across a space.
Okay, that makes sense. And then, so with your ships, because still with like vibration and the location thing,
Yes.
So I guess if we were to use it, or even just you guys using it to get to certain locations, would
Yes.
you have to know, or I guess, will we find a pattern with vibration and location so that, for
Yes,
instance, we don't
you
have
create a grid. You start with your position, whatever position you desire to be the zero position, and you expand a grid out from there that represents the different locational variables, of course.
And so would that be like an X, Y, and Z kind of thing? So you can like move up and down, not just...
Of course.
Okay. Okay, cool.
It would not only be an XYZ thing, but a T thing as well. Remember, your experience of time is included in that.
Oh, yeah, because time is also like a marker for different... Okay, that makes sense.
Yes. Because it's not only where you arrive, but when.
Right. Oh, that's so cool. And so we'll find that then eventually at some point in our discovery of...
Eventually.
Yeah, somewhere in the future. Okay. Oh, yeah. So then also, I know all these questions have to do with vibration, but...
You said they were.
Yeah. So if we were to, maybe impose isn't the right word, but if we were to find a way to impose a vibration, kind of like how you've mentioned Egyptians did, I think I might be quoting this wrong, but I think you mentioned at some point there were certain coffin-like objects where they would go into it and then that would astral project, like they would use...
We were talking about the coffer in the king's chamber in the Pyramid of Giza.
Okay, and so if we were to do something like that, like maybe using stone or something, whatever it is, and then impose vibration, would we just astrally project, or would our physical bodies also go somewhere?
Both are possible. Again, it just depends upon the construction and the vibrational resonance that is induced.
Okay. And how would we get back? Like, would it be safe to do it? Or?
Well, there are a number of ways. Again, of course, with astral projection, you are in control of coming back anytime you wish.
Right.
The idea of the chamber inducing astral projection is just something that helps with the impetus of projecting out. It doesn't mean you have to have the idea of a projector on the other side in the astral realm. Your consciousness is sufficient. The idea of physical teleportation is something that may require, again, depending on a variety of factors, another device at the other end.
Right. So for physical transportation like that, would the device at the other end have to be resonating at the same frequency? Would it be like a sort of, I guess, beacon, but that's not the right word.
Yes, in a sense, it is interconnected. It is sort of similar on a macroscopic scale of what your scientists refer to as entanglement.
Got you. Okay. Moving into some dream questions, if that's okay.
Yes.
So I've noticed this past week, myself and some friends of mine who I guess, people would consider like in tune or whatever with the collective, or everyone has that ability, but you know what I mean. We've been having a lot of dreams of, for one, this whole week, the dreams have just been objectively dark, like really like playing on themes either of manipulation or things like that. And then we were also having dreams, a few of us having dreams this week in a row of a lot to do with tsunamis. And I know that could just be representative of the emotional state with water and everything, but everyone's been having them in the same location. It's been in between. Some people are having them in Hawaii and some people are having them in California.
Yes.
So
there is a probability of such happening physically, but of course, there is always also the emotional and psychological component of the idea of great shift and things being washed away to make room for new things. So it is on both levels because there is a physiological probability. It may not be high at this particular moment, but there is a physiological probability of such happening in physical reality too.
At some point in the future?
Yes.
Okay, I'll go back to the vibration question. So with the imposing vibrations on bodies and stuff and astral projecting, will it feel like this is gonna be weird, but will it feel like the body's dying? Because like it feels like
it can. It depends upon the person's relationship and response to the idea of the vibration. It just depends on how cognizant they are of the shift and what the relationship and definition is of the idea that they are shifting into the concept or projection of a completely new personality, which to some may make it seem as if the old personality is dying in the classical sense, even though nothing of the sort is actually happening in exactly that way. So it just depends on the person.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Bashar.
Good day.
Good day.